What's going on, guys? Welcome to the second episode of my new series. So first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who watched the first episode. I really appreciate it. And the people that showed love by clicking the like button, by watching the video, thank you very much. Many more videos to come, and hopefully you guys will keep watching and we keep enjoying the content that I'm sharing with you guys. So as I'm currently in the middle of my off season, which I'm going to make a separate video next time to share with you guys an update of how things has been going and what's the plan for me in terms of competing and getting back on stage later on in the year. So I thought it would be cool for me to make a video and share with you guys some of my belief and opinion about the mistakes that can easily be avoided during off season. I've been competing since 2013. This is actually the first time ever that I can say I'm having an off season. You know, off season is not 1 month or 2 months, you know, it's a long period of time. And the reason why it's a long period of time is because off season is that time that you use to work on improving your physique. So this way, the next time you step on stage, you look better than the physique that you brought on your previous showing. So that's why off season is a long period of time off from stage to focus on improving yourself physically and of course mentally with it as well. So I've been competing since 2013. I've been competing non-stop until 2016, which is when I got my pro card, and then 2017 was a year off, and that was actually supposed to be a year of me having an off season, but I spent like, I'd say 75% to 80% of the year not training. The reason why is because, you know, if you guys been following my journey, I've said many times, 2017 was a year for me to focus on other priorities in my life, family, business, work, and other stuff. And gym did not have a place to be at the top of my priorities. So 2018, we relocated, me and my family, from Milton Keynes to Wellingborough. I joined the Bodyworks gym in February 2018, but it's not until April 2018 that I started to train properly because I had some issues in my wisdom tooth. And you know, if you guys watch my series of my pro debut series, you guys will have seen that. So it's not until April 2018 that I started to train properly, and we went straight into prep for my pro debut. So the whole prep was a 23 weeks prep, but in those 23 weeks there was 3 different stages. The first stages was me recovering from my wisdom tooth because I couldn't eat for like almost 3 weeks, and I lost a lot of weight, a lot of size. So I think we spent like about 6-7 weeks trying to recover that. And then after that, you know, I had like maybe 5 weeks, another 5-6 weeks to try, and we call that period a mini off season. You know, even though I say off season should be a long period of time, so that's why we call it a mini off season, because it was a period of time where we increased our calorie intake to try and add quality size to the muscle and make some improvement. And then as we did that, we jumped straight into the prep for the show, which became second on my pro debut. So, you know, 23 weeks prep divided in 3 different parts. Right now we're in the middle of my off season, and we are in week 23 of my off season. So a massive difference, you know, the same amount of time that I spent to recover, try to improve and jump straight into the prep is the same time that I've spent so far working on one thing only, which is to improve my physique, which is what off season is all about. Off season is all about taking time out from the show, analyzing the physique that you brought on stage, seeing the areas that needs to improve, and then work your ass off to improve them. So this way, when it's time to cut and start the prep, you are guaranteed to bring a better physique, a better overall package than what you brought on your last showing. So that's where I am right now, 23 weeks of my off season, and that's what off season is all about. Okay, so now guys, you know what off season is all about. It's all about making improvement. Now, that's where comes the first mistake that are easily done during the off season, and even in general to the people that go to the gym. You want to improve. To have a chance of improvement, you need to have a goal. you know. So it's similar to you buying the land to build a house. Yes, you got the land, but before you start building the house, you'll be designing, you know, how you want your house to look like from the outside, the inside, how big the rooms you want to be, how big the kitchen you want to be, how big you want the bathroom to be, you know, everything needs to be planned and designed in advance as a goal of how you want the house to look like. It's the same process with the physique, you know. Whether you're competing or not, you know, you need to have a goal of how you want your physique to look like, because if not, you just be going to the gym training without really knowing what you're trying to achieve, you know. And as a competitor, not having a goal of how you want your physique to look like is the start of a disaster. You know, like for me, it's like I know how I want my body to look like when I step on stage, and having this vision allowed me to, you know, work hard for it. If you compete a few months ago and you're in the middle of, and you're going to start your off season, take the pictures, look at the pictures of your show, and see, like I said, see what needs to improve. Do you need bigger shoulders? Do you need more brightness on your chest? Do you need more density on your back? Do you need your triceps to stick out more because your biceps are taking, you know, are too dominant comparing to your triceps? Do you need your calves to grow more? Do you need your legs to grow more? That's how you create a goal, you know. Without a goal, you just wasting your time, you know. So before you start your off season, at the start of your off season, you need to know exactly how you want to look like by the end of your off season. This way, every time that you go to the gym, every time that you lift weight, every set, every reps, every sessions, every meal, you know that you're getting closer to the goal of how you want your physique to look like by the end of your off season. So don't just jump straight in the gym without knowing how you want your physique to look like, you know. Like I said, it's similar to building a house. You got the money, you buy land, but you're not just gonna start building the house with no plan. The same way with your physique, you're not just gonna start, you know, lifting weight and starting your off season without knowing exactly what areas need to improve, and not knowing how you want your physique to look like by the end of your off season doesn't make sense. So make sure that you have a goal, you know, to work towards, that will really keep you on your toes of, you know, why you're actually doing the things that you're doing. Because sometimes there are going to be days where you feel tired, but when you have a reminder of, shit, I can't be tired, my shoulders are not even where they need to be, I can be tired, my legs are they still don't look the way I want them to look, you know. That's the goal that's going to keep you like, okay, let me get my ass up and go to the gym and keep pushing hard. So that's the mistake number one that needs to be avoided. Do not go with your eyes closed and have no goal. Make sure that you have a goal, make sure you have a vision, you know. That's mistake number one to avoid. Alright guys, so mistake number two, not eating enough food. Listen, to all the competitors out there, if you are really taking this shit seriously and you want to win your shows and you want to do well on stage, and like I said, off-season is all about improvement, you cannot leave things to luck. Everything needs to be calculated, everything needs to be on point. Because let me tell you, when you don't get the result that you expect to get on stage, you don't want to say, oh, what if I ate enough? What if? Is it because I did not eat enough? You know, you don't want to know what if. You know, if you don't get the result, at least you want to be in a position to say, I did everything that I had to do, and I was just not the best that day according to the judges, and just move on to the next show. You don't want no regret or no what if. So weigh your food, get yourself a food scale, you know, because it's easy to think that you're eating a lot of food, and until you start calculating and you realize that how much calories you find behind. Because you have to understand, as a competitor, you know, the off season, one of the main things that you will see a lot of people saying when it's time for off season is it's time to grow, it's time to make those gains, you know. So how can you make gains? How can you grow if you don't eat enough food? And how do you know if you eat enough food or not if you don't? Track the food that you're eating. Look at how much calories. Everything needs to be on point. Like your fat, your protein, your carbs. Everything needs to be accurate. Like I said, if you really want to do well on stage, you cannot leave it to by chance. You cannot just be like, oh, this is about 300 grams. This is about 200. No, you cannot be. This is about. Everything needs to be on point. That's for the people that really want to take this shit seriously. This is a mistake that easily be done. I mean, I'm in the off season right now. All my meals are calculated. The only time that I don't calculate my meals or that I don't weigh my meals is, when I'm having my little treat. I don't really count that, but I will explain this in a separate video as I'll be talking to you guys about my off-season update. But yeah, mistake number 2, not eating enough food. You need to eat enough, man. You need to eat. And even when things are getting harder to eat, like when you're feeling like you're not hungry, think of your goal. Mistake number 1. The goal, having the vision, will keep you going. So your food intake increased during your off season. You feel like, oh shit, it's too much food. Hey, man, it's not too much for the goal. If the goal that you have, the vision that you have is very big for you, it's very important for you, you will eat it. Even if it means you're gonna spend 10 more minutes, eating your food, man, you have to eat. Because if you don't eat, you're not gonna grow, So make sure you eat enough food. Get yourself a food scale. And if you don't know how to, calculate your macros or how to calculate your carbs, fat, or protein, man, online there's so many different websites, different links that will help you. Everything is online nowadays. Just go on Google and you can just search, or go on my fitness path. It's a good app that will be able to help you with that as well. But yeah, weigh your food. Make sure that you eat enough. So don't skip a meal during the off season, man. Alright, so now off season is all about making improvement. So you have your goal, step number 1. Step number 2, that you need to eat enough food. Number 3, mistake number 3. Now, when everybody compete, including myself, we spend weeks, months prepping for a show. There's certain food that you cannot eat in the middle of the prep. And those food are waiting for you as soon as you're off the stage. You know that you're going to be eating all that food that you haven't been able to taste. It's normal. You deserve it. We all deserve it. We all deserve it. Spend hard work, a lot of time, a lot of weeks, months prepping and doing a lot of sacrifices, not be able to eat certain food, a certain snack. When the show is over, it's green light. Boom. You want to eat, you want to eat, you want to eat, you want to eat, you want to eat. Now, that's the mistake number 3. Junk food, dirty bulking. Man, off season and dirty bulking. Go on Instagram or Facebook or any social media, you will see the word dirty bulking linked to off season. And that's the big, massive mistake. Now, I know that I said that you need to eat enough food and you need to make sure you eat enough calories to grow. Now, after the show, let's say you go to your eat your burger or your pizza or a nice homemade meal or whatever. I would say, like for me, after a show, I like to spend like a week eating all the stuff that I couldn't eat, but I know when to stop. Because if you don't stop and you keep eating that, you get used to eating junk food every day, that's going to turn in, your off-season is going to turn into what they call dirty bulking. So dirty bulking is just eating junk food every day, eating, not like avoiding healthy food. And obviously eating junk food, there's a lot of calories in the junk food. So as a result, the more you eat the junk food, your body weight start increasing. So you go on the scale, you're happy, your body weight is increasing. Yeah, off season is going well. I put on 5 kilos. You bulking, you looking more full in your clothes. Yeah, off season is going well. I'm making gains. Listen, Junk food is a lot of fat, alright? A lot of fat that have a lot of calories indeed. Yes, you need the high amount of calories to make those gains. But man, there's a difference between the junk food gains and eating healthy gains. Now, the dirty bulking, the more shit you eat, the more weight you're going to put. Yes, you might put on some size, but let me ask you a question. Among all that size and all that weight, do you know how much is muscle and how much is fat? I can tell you something, that's a fact. Majority of it, I don't want to give a percentage, but majority of it will be fat, you know. Off-season, let's go back to what off-season is all about. It's all about making improvement. And for me, improvement is all about adding quality, not just quantity, quality muscle size, adding lean, as much lean mass muscle size, you know. And the best way to do that is not by eating junk food every day or to go in the dirty bulk and thinking that you're having a successful off-season just because you're bulking, you're looking fuller, your body weight is going up. No, a successful off-season is not based just on how much size you put or how much body weight you put. Because like I said, in that size and in that body weight that you put on, if a lot of it, a majority of it is fat, your off-season is shit. Because you put on a lot of fat, so that's you on the show, you know. You're eating, the show is done, you start eating junk food, the body weight is going up, you're looking bigger, but all that is fat, and then it's time to prep again. Guess what? You're going to start doing so much cardio to reduce that fat, you know, do a lot of low carbs meal, and guess what? You might end up looking exactly the same as what you looked like on your previous show, or even worse. What's the point of having that whole off-season at the end of the day? Off-season is about making progress. If at the end of the off-season and the next time you step on stage, you're looking the same or worse than your last showing, it doesn't matter how much weight you put on between that space, your off-season was useless. Useless, with a capital U, man. So avoid this dirty bulk, you know. Don't think that off-season you need to put on a lot of weight, because let me tell you something. If you put on a lot of weight in the short amount of time, 100% majority of that weight is fat, you know. So like I said, off-season is all about adding lean muscle mass. As of course, during the off-season, you cannot help it, you're gonna add fat, you know. You're gonna add fat, it's a fact. But the smaller amount of fat you put and the more muscle you put, it's just going to make your prep smoother, you know, less stressful. You might end up doing even less cardio, and that's when, for me, at the moment, my off-season, I'm doing like an 80-20 rule, where 80% of the food that I eat during the week, clean, is sweet potatoes, normal potatoes, rice, pasta, chicken, beef, fish, oats, all the stuff that are healthy. You know, I have my vegetables and all that, my fat, avocado and all this, and mixed almond nut or mixed nut or whatever. All the healthy food that I will normally eat when I'm prepping, but in a much higher quantity because I need more calories. And then I have 20% where I give myself the freedom to, if I want to eat a muffin at the end of a leg session, I can have a muffin. If the weather is nice outside, I'm going to the park with my son and they want to eat the ice cream, I can eat it with him, you know. If me and my missus want to go out on a date night, we go to a restaurant to eat the Chinese, I can eat the Chinese, you know. So everything is all about make sure everything is the right balance, you know, because you don't want to eat properly, you don't want to eat a certain way during your prep, and then the prep is over, off-season is gone, and then all you eat is junk food. And then when it's time to prep again, it's going to be so hard to get back to normal. It's going to be hard to stop eating all that junk food, because if your off season is like 9 months or a year, you spend a whole year off season, and in that year you spend most of those days eating shit, rubbish or junk food, man, how long do you think it's going to take you to stop eating that when it's time to prep again? But if you spend 80% eating clean, but we have your 20% where you're allowed to treat yourself every now and then, at least when the prep start, all you have to do is just cut that 20%, you know. So it just make it easy for you to step into the prep mode, you know, instead of having to do drastic changes, you know, you're eating everything that you want, and then the next morning is prep, and you're struggling to stop eating biscuit because you've been eating biscuits for breakfast, and you're thinking that you're making gains because you put on weight and you put on size, but most of it is fat. Okay, so avoid the dirty bulking, you know, keep a habit. And it's not even just the fact of being a competitor or not. Eating junk food every day is not healthy anyway, you know. I know I used to do this when I was younger, and the reason why I used to do it is because, you know, I was young, I could get away with it, you know. So I thought, what's the point of dieting? You know, I was looking a certain way that I was like, what should I diet? I still look good, I'm eating whatever I want. But as a competitor, you can't do that. You can't do that. And even as a non-competitor, you can't do this, because even if you look good from the, like some people are blessed, they can eat whatever they want and still look decent. But from the inside, like my missus always tell me, like inside you don't know how fucked up your body is, you know. So it's not healthy to eat junk food every day or to eat shit every day. Make sure that you keep everything balanced, you know. Obviously, you're not going to be as strict in your off-season as when you are doing the prep. That's why I say you have the 80-20. You have 20% to treat yourself every now and then, and the 80% just keep the same foundation as when you're on prep, but just a higher quantity. So, for example, like during prep, I might eat plain rice, vegetables, and fish. Off-season, if I have rice, vegetable, and fish, I might add a little sauce on the rice, some nice seasoning on the fish, you know, just to add a little bit more taste, but the foundation stays the same. So this way, when I start to prep, I don't have to make too much changes to get into the prep mode. I hope I made myself clear, but that's a big mistake that people do on the off-season, is focus on the dirty bulking, because all they want to do is bulk, you know, bulk. Off-season is not just about bulking, it's about adding quality muscle size, you know, quality, that's the word. Alright, so I think I've said enough about that. So mistake number 3, avoid the dirty bulking. Alright guys, so mistake number 4, which is something that everyone does it, and even I used to do it, you know, but that's something that is all in the mind, and which is too much worry about how much you weigh on the scale. So this is almost linked to what I said in the previous mistake about the dirty bulk, you know. A lot of people, they judge a successful off-season based on how much weight they put on. Of course, it's part of it. Like putting on size and put on weight, you know, it's part of the process, you know. Put on fat during your off-season is all part of the process. You know, the main thing is to make sure that among that weight that you put on, like I said previously, majority of it is not fat. So if you do the off-season the right way, for me, which the right way for me is to make sure that you still eat to a certain standard that is clean and still treat yourself every now and then. Of course, your body weight will not increase as much or as fast as if you were doing the dirty bulk, you know, off-season, where you're eating your junk food and you're taking a lot of calories from junk food, and obviously your body weight will increase. But let me tell you something. Like I said, if you put on a lot of weight very quickly, it's a fact that majority of the weight is fat. So, but if you do it the other way, the clean way, it's going to take a lot more time. But because it takes a lot more time, the size that you're going to put on and the weight that you're going to put on will be quality, you know. So don't worry too much about your body weight on the scale. Don't weigh yourself every day, because you're going to give yourself a headache. Don't even weigh yourself every week, you know. Like for me, this off-season I've been weighing myself every 2 to 3 weeks, because, you know, I focus more on how I look when I check myself out in the mirror. If you're making progress, even if it's just slow progress, you know, it's still progress, you know. Take your progress pic. Like for me in the off-season, once again, I do progress pic and progress videos every 2 weeks. When I start the prep, when the prep starts, I usually do every week. But this off-season, I'm doing every 2 weeks. So it gives my body more time to make as much progress as possible and more visible progress, you know, which is one of the reasons why I'm always covered when I'm training or even when I'm at home. Which is something I'm going to explain again in a different video. But yeah, don't worry too much about the scale, ladies and gentlemen. You know, if you weigh yourself, let's say today, and then you weigh yourself in 2 weeks and your body weight has increased by 0.2 kilo. Listen, that 0.2 kilo is quality. You know, it's quality. You know, there's a reason why they say it's not all about quantity, it's quality. So yeah, that's a mistake that can be easily be done, because like I said, with social media, you know, the whole dirty bulking, and you see a lot of people saying I put on 20 kilo this off season, and everybody's just focusing too much on put on weight, and as a result they lost track of their goals, and they lose track of the food that they need to eat, because they just want to put weight by any cost, which will just make your off season unsuccessful. So don't worry too much about the scale. Of course, do keep an eye on your scale, on your body weight, but try to do it maybe once every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. So this way you give your body more time to progress, and you give your body, your eyes, more visible progress to be seen, instead of checking yourself out every day and weighing yourself every day. So yeah, mistake number 4, avoid the scale on a regular basis, and yeah, and you'll be alright. Don't give yourself too much more stress than what it is. So stay away from it as long as you can. Alright. So the next mistake is quite a popular one, which is the question I got asked quite a lot of time, is should you do cardio during your off season? Whether you're competing or not, doing cardio has a lot of benefit, you know, because first of all, you know, cardio is good for your health, because it works on your most important muscle among all the muscles you have, which is your heart. You know, so competing or not, doing cardio, some sort of cardio is good. And cardio doesn't necessarily mean be on the treadmill or stairs master. It could be going for a walk in the woods, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, or just going for a walk around your area, or going for a jog, or playing football with your friends, or going swimming, you know, some sort of activity, you know, that keep working on your heart, and that will be good for your health. So to answer shortly, you should do cardio on your off season, but obviously at a very low intensity. The intensity of a cardio during your off season is not going to be the same as when you're prepping deep inside the prep. So, you know, a lot of people they don't want to do cardio during the off season because they're scared that the cardio is going to steal their gains. But for that to happen, you really need, you know, to do a lot of cardio before you hit that stage where, okay, you start to losing weight, and you know, and you start hitting your muscle. So if you do a low intensity cardio, like for myself this off-season, I'm doing like 30 to 35 minutes cardio a week at the gym. So for example, sometimes after a session, I might just go on the treadmill, very low speed, and I'll just be walking for like 10 minutes, just, you know, just work on my heart rate and everything, and then that's done. So 30 to 35 minutes cardio at the gym. Sometimes I go to the park. When I go to the park with my son, I count that as a cardio, because man, it's non-stop running. So, and sometimes I go to the wood with my missus and my son. We just go for a walk when the weather is nice. So any sort of activity, you know, that count as cardio. And the other advantage, especially during the off season of doing cardio, is it will help you lose fat or reduce the amount of fat that you put on, and will increase your appetite, because it will give a massive boost to your metabolism. So as a result, you'll be more hungry. So if you're more hungry, you're capable of eating even more food if you need to. Like I said earlier, sometimes during the off-season it's quite hard to eat because you think that you're still full, but you still have to eat, you know. But if you're hungry, it'll be easier for you to just finish that meal and digest and ready for the next one. So there's a lot of advantages in doing cardio during the off season. And obviously, because for me, I'm a massive believer that you can stay lean during your off season. All depends on the food that you're eating, so avoid daily bulking, and in the way that you're training, which I'm going to talk later on. And obviously involving some kind of cardio, you know, 2 to 3 times a week will help you to hold that. So don't be afraid of cardio, don't run away from cardio, don't stop cardio totally. And I told you the other thing which I almost forgot. If you do some sort of cardio during your off season, when the prep starts, at least it won't be like, oh fuck's sake, I have to start doing cardio again. No, it's just you already been doing it for 6, 9 or 12 months, you know. So all you're gonna be doing is just increasing the amount of time and increasing the intensity of your cardio. So mentally and physically you're already into that zone, so you don't have to, it won't feel like a crazy change in your life. You know, oh God, I have to wake up and do cardio, you know. So yeah, don't run away from cardio. That is the next, and that's the next mistake that are easily done and can easily be avoided. So do some sort of cardio, definitely. So okay, so this one, I don't know, it's weird because during the off season, you know, it's easily, you know, some people can easily think that okay, they're training hard enough during the off season, but then they're not. You know, like off season, you're eating a lot more food, you have a lot more calories, which you should use as fuel and energy to push even more at the gym. Push more. If the amount of weight that you're lifting when you're like 4 weeks out of a show is the same or very close to when the same weight that you're lifting when you're in the middle of your off season, it's something wrong. You know, like the difference of weight lifting and the intensity of the training, you know, should be different. You know, it should be much higher when you're off season because you got so much more energy. Use it, you know. Do a lot of compound exercises as well. Don't be afraid to try and give a go at some heavier weight. I'm not talking about trying to do a one max rep. I'm talking about, okay, if for example you normally do 30 kg on the incline dumbbell press, try the 32, try the 35, try to see how many reps you can do. Maybe you can do 6, 7 on your own, which means that if somebody's there to support you, somebody can help you push those last 2 reps. That's what's going to help you to push and improve your strength. And the stronger you are, the more weight you manage to lift, especially on the compound exercises, trust me, your physique will make so much difference. So that's the mistake that can easily be done, is not using the energy that you put into your body to the max, you know, to the fullest. You know, try not to use too much of the machines. Obviously they're still there for a reason, but during your off season, when you have a lot of energy, when you don't have no excuses that you're hungry, use that fuel to push yourself at the gym. Lift as heavy as you can with the weight, you know, with the weight and the reps, and you know, just use the energy, man. So that's a mistake that can easily be done and easily be avoided, you know. So yeah, do a lot of compound exercises and push yourself. Lift those weights. Don't be afraid of failure, man. Failure doesn't mean shit. Failure just means that okay, you're not there yet, but at least you tried and you know. You know what I mean? Now that you know, you have a new goal to work towards. Like, okay, you motherfucker, you made me struggle on the rep number 3. I'll get you in 2 or 3 weeks. You know, that's the mindset. It's like it's a war between you and the weight. You know, like I always tell my friends that when we train, control the weight, don't let the weight control you. That's something that my brother used to tell me. So I'm using that line with my clients and my friends as well, like with myself as well. Sometimes when I'm struggling, I'm like, not today, bitch, not today, not today. You know, I push that shit. But then when I'm done, I'm laughing because I'm like, shit, I just stepped into some dumbbells. You know, but that's the mindset that you need to be if you want to make sure that you have a high chance of doing well on stage. Because when the prep starts, it's not at that stage that you want to start making progress. All the progress should be made during your off season. So this way, when the prep starts, all you're doing is just taking that body that you build in your off season and make it sharper. You know, so use that fuel, use that all the food that you're eating as a source of energy to push yourself very hard, and don't be afraid to touch those weights. Don't be afraid to do those compound exercises, and just give 100%, leave no regrets. All right, guys. So that's something that you should definitely avoid during the off season. All right, guys. So we are at the end of the video, the last and probably as important as all the other mistakes that I've mentioned in this video. Not enough rest. Listen, I know, you know, I said just previously, give yourself 100%, go push to the gym, lift those weights. To be able to do this consistently for months and months and months, you need time to rest, to recover. So this way, you can go back to the gym fresh and ready to go, you know, because sometimes it's easy to get carried away because you're on the off season, You want to make the most of every single day you have during the off season. And for some people, making the most means going to the gym every day and lifting crazy amount of weight every day. Listen, you need at least one day off in the gym to relax, to let your body relax and get ready for the next day to go hard again. Like if you have a training plan that involves you training 6 days a week, that 7th day, make sure you do nothing. Chill. Like right now, today, I'm doing nothing. You know, it's my day off. I'm relaxing. Tomorrow we start all over again. You know, I'll be fresh and ready. If you're training 5 days a week, make sure those 2 days are rest days. You know, so rest is as important as the effort you put in the gym, as important as the food that you put into your body. So make sure that you don't neglect rest days, man. That will definitely benefit you. I know sometimes you don't want to rest. You check yourself in the mirror, you think, I just want that pump, you want to go to the gym, but rest. You know, listen to your body and just rest. Alright guys, so these are the mistakes. Make sure that you don't do them in your off season if you want to have a chance of doing well on stage. And yeah, keep whatever your goal is, whatever victory that you're chasing, it's not going to happen by being lazy and doing nothing. You know, make sure that everything is planned, make sure that you have a goal, you know, track your progress, track your food, give yourself 100% at the gym, make sure you rest. Don't worry too much about the body weight, but more about how you look. Make sure, you know, if you see slow progress coming, say progress is a slow process, and slow progress is always better than no progress. Alright guys, and don't get carried away in terms of you need to bulk, put on size and eating junk food every day, because you're going to be putting more fat than muscle, which is the opposite of what you want to do in the off season. Okay guys, so I'm not going to make this video any longer than what it already is. So once again, I thank you guys in advance for watching. Hopefully you guys will find this video helpful. If you like the video, feel free to click the like button, feel free to share, feel free to subscribe. If you think that I forgot anything else, please put it in the comments. So, you know, maybe there's something that I forgot that I can use for myself, or the people watching the video can use for themselves as well. Like I said, we're all here for we all go to the gym for the same reason, whether we compete or not, which is to improve. So if there's something that we can learn that can help us improve, let's all make those gains and let us make those progress in the gym. So until the next video, make sure that you guys enjoy your weekend with your friends or family, or even just with yourself. And tomorrow is a new day, it's a new week. Give 100%, keep working hard, keep grinding. Catch you next time. Peace.